What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and of course my good name is Otieno Sophie. If this is the first time you're visiting my channel, kindly hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so anytime I post you get to be notified. So guys, I've been having a very busy week. I've not posted for like the past 7 days. I had like 4 practicals to attend, and I said why not do a video to show you my guys how it always is inside the UoN laboratory. And of course, I must say the disclaimer in this video should be we are not allowed to have phones in the lab. But the practical we were doing was about refraction and distillation. So it like took there's a time you get to be like waiting for the mixture to heat for like an hour. So that part when we were waiting and there was nothing to do, I was like, let me just do a video and record the processes that are going on. So I get to show you how it normally is inside our UoN laboratory. So for the chemistry students, I know this is going to be a very beneficial video, but either way, even if you don't do chemistry, you'll get to see how it always is for people who do chemistry, the things they get to go through inside the laboratory. So I hope this video is going to be beneficial. Watch to the end. I hope it's going to be entertaining for those of you who know nothing about chemistry. And of course, yeah, let's get into the video. So when you get in the lab, normally we have to first read, be given the introduction of what the practical is about. That session is normally done by our lecturers, and they also have an extract of the manual. Manual is where now you have the procedures and everything. So that part there was the other group. Of course, I was spying on the other group, which is normally just first of our group. That is opposite, and we were having a conversation, trying to share on what the practical basically is about. The phones there are people who have their manuals in the phone, so we had to understand what exactly the practical is about. So we let's have a moment to read and go through the manual so that we carry out the experiment successfully, so that we don't come up with a lot of errors in the practical. SAH206, that is organic acids, esters, phenols, and amines. So we had to do a practical specifically on the reduction of acetophenone to ethylbenzene. So first we had to prepare the setup. Actually, the experiment the requirements was a conical flask. As you can see, we needed 10% of sodium hydroxide solution. We needed ethanol, we needed benzaldehyde. So we had to make, in this experiment, we had to prepare a cross-aldol product between benzaldehyde and an enolysable aldehyde and acetophenone. So this one was a preparation of, we were preparing for the practical. So we had to set up the experiment, and the setup was here. So that there is our working area. That's where sometimes some of the reagents are put. So that's where we normally go and get our reagents. That's student or working area, as you can see. So basically that is where sometimes we do our practicals that require have a lot of fumes, so that we don't get to inhale so much toxic reagents and substances. So it plays a multitask, so it can also act as a fume chamber, and it also plays the role of a working area. So that is where most of the reagents are normally put. So this experiment, as I've stated earlier, was about the reduction of acetophenone to ethylbenzene. So in this experiment, there are always 3 processes, as I've said. We have 1 reflux and 2 distillations. So the major setup, of course, we normally have the heat, the light big condenser, because there is a lot of condensation that has to take place. So about reflux, those who don't know, reflux is a technique that involves the condensation of vapors, which are then returned back to the sample. So with reflux, now that was the first step we had to do. So in this whole experiment, you'll be seeing a lot of distillation because distillation was done twice. Then the reflux part now, of course, it involved the condensation of vapor back to the sample. And it was, of course, it is normally used in the laboratory in the distillation processes. But distillation itself now is the action of purifying a liquid by a process of heating and cooling, which means that in distillation, the vapors don't return back to the sample. So yeah, that is the difference between reflux and distillation. This was now my favorite part. Of course, it's like everyone was enjoying seeing the water coming out. And sometimes this practical can be so magical. Seeing there's no part you have any water. Of course, you have the water in. And these things, you just used to hear them in high school, like stories. There used to be that water in and water out. And yeah, it's so magical. So there we were having the water out and everybody had to experience the moment. And of course, the eating was also going on. So this was the first part, which was the reflux. Now we realized our mixture was heating and there was a lot of fizzing that was taking place. So that is where one of our group members came, the other group members came to our rescue. We figured we had not added some of the porcelain that was being added.
Toa mkono. Bado maji inakuja hapa grand. Funga maji. Si nimefunga. Shikia hapa.
Kufunga ni kloko isama anti kloko.
Nikifungua unamwaga ndani. Mwaga.
Mwaga bwana.
So that part here, I said, like, we had like to sit for like some hours waiting for everything to heat, noting the temperature. So it's like we were having our moment there. Oh my goodness, I hope my lecturer doesn't see this because this one was just a joke in the lab. And of course, like every time we had to like do another setup over and over again. So we were again doing another setup. Remember, there are 3 processes. So we had to interfere with the setup again, do the setup again. Just like that for like 3 complete practicals, the reflux and the 2 distillations. And trust me, it wasn't an easy process. So that there was again one of our members setting up the practical for the 3rd time.
A setup, guys.
It's necessary you push my hands to record it.
I can push your hand. Vini.
Sijatembea na tissue mimi. Ini tissue ya Alice. Lakini iliandikwa wapi
mwanaume hufai kutembea na tissue for real.
Sawa but
kwani wewe ni mwanamke?
Yeah, hatukatai. Wewe chukua hizo matube zetu.
It took us like forever to get to this point, but that there was now the cooling, and now we had the ice cold bath there, now the cooling before we now did our final distillation. And trust you me, like it took us forever to get to this point. So that was one of our group members doing the cooling. So chemistry labs are always so freaky. So at some point you might think that you're not even going to come up with the right experiment because some people are so fast, some people are kind of slow, some people go with the same rate. So it's like ours, we wanted to be so sure of what we are doing. So it's like Mez's group was quite ahead of us, but finally we were so happy when we came up with the same setup as them. Eventually our product was also getting to become that tint color. So it's like it was a jubilation for our group. So finally we managed to come up with the best results, and also the temperature range was within the range, and it was a very successful practical. So yeah, that is what normally goes on in our practical. It's not as easy as it has been shown on this video, but it's always like takes forever to finish. So that one was a wrap up of what normally happens in our practical. And trust you me, this practical took us 3 hours, but this video is only like 5 minutes or even 6 or 7 or maybe to 10. So this is not what happened totally, but I hope it was a productive video altogether. So shout out to my friends who are featured in this video. Of course, it's through them that we managed to shoot and come up with all this without them snitching, of course. So yeah, shout out to all my group members. Guys, that was a very interesting video there. Of course, that was not the full practical. Sometimes we take 3 hours, sometimes it goes up to 3 hours 30 minutes, but it's never less than 2 hours 30 minutes. So that was just some of the things that go on inside our lab. I hope you got to watch. I know some of you were so anxious to see how we normally do our stuff, so I guess that video was productive and you got to learn a few things here and there. For chemistry students, I know you can relate. For those of you who don't do chemistry as a course or maybe majoring in it, I know it was still entertaining seeing us struggle and going through what we have to go through in the labs. So guys, I want to say thank you so much for your support. You guys have always been here, and let's get to that journey of 500 subscribers. See, we go to 500 subscribers. Of course, the journey and the goal is to get to as many subscribers as possible, even 1 million, but you must aim at least higher. But for now, let's get to 500 subscribers, and I hope soon we'll get to 1,000 subscribers, so we still go to step by step towards those many subscribers. Tell a friend to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Come and entertain yourself. Of course, this is educative content, and yeah, let's live and learn. So guys, till we meet in our next video, I want to say au revoir. I hope it was productive, and don't forget to subscribe.